slightly hungover, but we're still showing up.
Generation game.
The generation game.
Lots of generations. Hey guys, welcome back to Slightly Hungover, the podcast where we kiss all the time and disco occasionally. How are you? Have you heard Harry Styles' new album?
Yeah, it's all right. Like, not my kind of style of music,
No?
but like that first song. What was that one?
Aperture, maybe.
Yeah, maybe that's. I thought I sounded quite like Daft Punky or kind of like 80s
Disco-y,
synth.
yeah, right? I guess that is why we're discoing all the time and kissing
Maybe that is why.
Yeah.
Maybe that song's just our theme song in the background in our heads.
I feel like his music always grows on me. I'll give it a chance. I didn't mind it. A bit different.
Yeah.
Quite liked it.
You know, what was that song that he did? Just Stop Your Crying.
Oh, Sign of the Times.
Mate, that's actually a belter, to be fair.
Song. And anyone who says they don't like that song, they're a liar.
Yeah, they don't appreciate good music. Like,
Seriously?
I quite like Harry Styles. I think he's a decent dude. Like,
Well, he was one of the biggest singers in one of the biggest bands of my generation. And speaking of music of our generation,
yeah,
there's a good 10 or so years between me and you.
there is. Yeah,
I'm a 2004 baby.
I'm
You're
a 1993 baby.
bloody hell,
All right.
1993.
All right,
Okay, so you've seen the
less
war.
of that.
Yeah. Are you ready for today's episode?
Hell yeah, man. I come with notes.
Oh, interesting. I come with the more modern version of notes.
Yeah, well, this is because I'm old school and you're new school.
I like that.
Yeah,
And we
yeah.
did that on purpose, of course.
Yeah.
But it's going to be an interesting episode. What we thought we'd do is we get a few little categories from my generation and from your generation, and we compare. And I think at the end of each category, say we decide who's got the best music of their generation, we'll decide. They'll get
We
a
all
point.
know what the answer's going to be.
Well, for that one's a bit easy, isn't it?
I mean, I think I like for all of them.
It's a
We all
no.
know.
Oh, you think so?
Yeah.
Oh, it's getting competitive already.
I'm telling you now, my
I know.
childhood was awesome.
I really think that it's going to be interesting for us to agree which generation had it best.
Might have to use an intermediate and have like a third opinion
Doug,
from the Dougster.
the Doug Meister is here with us today.
Notorious DUG.
We've got a third opinion if we do need one, but he's a 90s baby.
Oh, yeah.
There might be a bit of bias.
Yeah, but hang on, when were you born?
98.
98, so he's
He's
like
a
in
happy
between.
medium. In
He
fact,
is in between.
dare I say he's pretty much perfectly in between.
Yeah, that might work actually. 98.
There's only one way to find out. How have you been this week, mate?
I've been quite alright, you know.
Yeah?
Been sound. It's been a decent week. Busy week, but decent.
Nice.
Yeah.
I'm soaking wet.
Well, you rode to work today.
I did, because my car's in the garage for another reason, and I don't know why. But I just got my bike out the garage, so I was happy to ride. The weather told me it was going to be dry. Bullshit, I'm soaking. I should have got an Uber. It was genuinely, I was looking at the weather until 9.
You do know I could have picked you up.
Yeah, well, I didn't think of that. Did I? I was looking at the weather until 9, and it was going to stop raining any second, and I was out the window looking at the sky. Maybe this is going to stop. And when it didn't stop, I thought I'll refresh the app. I swear it jumped to 12.
Yeah, there's just inaccuracies.
They're freestyling it
They
at this
do.
point.
You know what, that as well, with the whole, like, it's 10 degrees, but feels like 6. Right, this
don't get me
irritates
started on this.
This irritates me so much. Do you know why? Right, because I always wonder, how do they come up with this feels like temperature? And now, in my mind, the scenario goes like this, right? You've got Steve, the weatherman, on his computer going like, oh, looking at the thermometer, oh, it's 12 degrees, 10 degrees outside. Hey, Mike, just go outside a sec. Hey, what do you reckon it is? He goes outside, and he goes, oh, I don't know, mate, feels around 6. Feels like 6.
Because
Nice one, Mike.
Feels like to who?
Yeah,
You
to
know
who?
what if I've got sensitive skin? It's going to be colder, warmer.
Because surely, if it feels like 6 degrees, then it's fucking 6 degrees, then, innit?
I don't understand all of this.
And then if it's 10 degrees and it feels like 6, well, it doesn't. It feels like 10 degrees, and that's what 10 degrees feels like, if you get me.
I genuinely think we could do a whole podcast talking about just this.
just the
I
weather.
spend so much of my time thinking about this exact thing, because just as I start to think, well, maybe it's the actual temperature is like how things behave. Like, you know how an oven's 180, so the food cooks at 180. Maybe there's like a certain scale of what that heat can do.
Maybe.
But then as soon as I think too much about that, I get all angry. And I stop thinking about it because I stop being able to understand it. And then next time I restart the conversation, I'm back to square one.
Yeah.
If it feels like 8, surely it's 8.
Mate, speaking of anger, right, I have never been more infuriated about mechanics than I have this week. Because obviously we spoke about last time, well maybe a couple of times ago, I can't remember what it was, but Lewis's bike failed at MOT and I was working on it. They had like this huge list of issues. They wanted about 950 quid or something like that to repair it. So
How much of that was labour, by the way?
That was £700, I think it was.
That
something
is
like
crazy.
that. £500, £600 or something, but that was labour.
Daylight robbery is
And I
the
was
word.
like, that's bollocks. So I said to him, right, don't touch it. Me and you just have to figure this out. We'll do it. I'm not having you pay that because when I bought that bike back in the day, it was, I don't know, 1,100, I think, pound or something like that. So I'm like, the bike's not worth that anymore.
You might
That
as
was
well
6
buy a
years
new
ago.
bike at that point.
Exactly. So I was like, don't do it. Don't be paying that. We'll figure it out. So we spent like maybe 2 weeks on like it was 2 full days, but over 2 weeks of just doing everything, like replacing bits and bobs, having to go on YouTube. I used ChatGPT, forums and stuff like that to try and figure out how to fix a lot of these issues. Asked Chris from the Weird Beards.
And he knows his shit
He
too.
knows his stuff
He
when it
does.
comes to help me bleed the brakes and stuff. So we did all that, fixed everything. It was like, right, everything's done now. Let's take it back in for its MOT. None of those issues came up. But you know what did come up? A fucking fail. For bear in mind it's a 125 and he's got a CVT, so he doesn't have a full license, so he can't take passengers. But it failed on the fact that it doesn't have rear foot pegs, right?
I didn't even know that was a fail.
It's because he's got a double seat on it, but that's like it is a double seat, but it's not made as a double seat, if that makes sense.
Okay.
It just looks like one.
Kind of like mine a bit, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So failed on that, and then failed on his rear mudguard was loose and could be dangerous. I was like, that's weird. And his seat was slightly loose. That's what it failed on. And I was like, are you having a fucking laugh?
Screw it back in, mate.
As
please.
soon as he brought the bike out, I had my car with me, I had all my tools in the back. Opened the boot, took the tools out, tightened up the mudguard, tightened up the seat. They were fixed. And I was like, now the rear, I said to the guy, I was like, the foot pegs, I was like, why is that? It's passed every year since I've had it, which was 6 years ago.
Without foot pegs every time.
Without foot pegs the entire time. And his response was, well, we just do it properly here. And I was like, well, you've just lost a customer, mate. You know what I mean?
Maybe the worst thing he could have said.
Well, I took it down to Wallasey Motorcycles.
I was just there.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're
great
good
place.
down there. Great down there.
Really good that dude. I need to find out what his name is. He's the son, he's the new owner. Like, he moved down. Really good dude. Told him what it was, because one of the other things was like a bearing on the steering.
Oh.
And
I think everyone's got a bearing issue somewhere on their
yeah, well, I
bike.
said to him, I was like, what's the issue here? And he had a look at it, he went, there's no issue. He was like, has this bike been sat like over winter, basically, just not because he failed it in November. So he's
really?
like, I'll wait until New Year to fix it. So it's been sat there, so all it is, it's just a bit stiff because it's not been, maybe a bit of WD-40, bit of riding on it, get it, a few bumps, maybe bust off some corrosion or whatnot. And he was like, this is totally fine. So I've had to do, because it's going to flag up now, I've had to do the foot pegs. I've had to order the foot pegs, and I'm just going to fucking lag everything else and just be like, listen, mate, I've done it all. Because if I've done the foot pegs and the bug guard's tight, then surely they're going to assume I've done everything, and I'm taking it to another place. They can fuck off. You know what I mean?
With that said,
Fucking fuming.
I took mine to Wallasey Motorcycles. They did like the general service stuff, and they've sent it back to me. And the handlebars are just shaking away. And I'm thinking, I don't want to take it back to them for them to go, it's your fucking keychain, mate.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna test a few things, take the foam mount off, see what it is. But it's like I've got my Harry Styles' new album blasting in the headphone. Yeah. And I'm riding, and all I can hear is just a da-da-da-da-da, and I'm not happy.
No.
So we'll see. There's been a lot of bike issues.
Yeah.
But
And car and everything.
yeah, well, my car's in the garage, my bike's come out. It's that time of the year where everything just starts to break.
Yeah.
So it's also that time of year where everything you just need to fix constantly.
Especially ready for the summer.
Well, I felt like I was in summer the last few days. It's been glorious sunshine until I needed to go out on my
Until you
bike.
needed to ride today.
Pouring down. And I've actually changed into my gym clothes just because I was that wet. I had a nice pair of jeans on. I was feeling good, a lovely sweatshirt.
Looking good for the pod.
Mate, I don't mind the
I
Harley
actually like
tee.
that Harley tee.
Thank you very much. It's got a cool little back design. Check that out. I think if it's the right tee.
Curacao.
Yeah, well, I don't know if it's the right tea, come to think of it, because one's got a really cool and one just says the name of a garage.
That says Harley Davidson Curacao. And then,
Okay, so it might be the other tea. It might be. I'll show you it another time. But I was not happy when I got soaking wet, I'll tell you that. Got a haircut as well.
I've noticed, yeah.
Well, it looked better before it was soaking wet, if I'm being honest.
To be fair, that's why I put a cap on today. I'm like, I can't
Really?
be arsed.
I quite like the backwards hat.
It's the first time I've
120
done it,
years, is
so-
that how old you are, considering you were born in 1993?
This is exactly, yeah, this is the age difference between me and you. That's why I put it on.
Should we jump into the generation game?
Let's get on.
I'd have thought,
Okay.
so obviously you're born in the 90s,
Yes.
and I'm born in the 2000s, otherwise known as the
The
noughties.
noughties.
What if we called this the generation game, or the naughty 90s?
The naughty 90s.
I feel like it's
that.
got a ring to it.
The
And this
naughty
could become
90s.
like a series where we compare different things from our generation. Maybe in a future episode we could have like an array of 90s snacks, which are very out of date. And an array of 2000s
Just
snacks.
the ones I was hoarding from when I was a
Yeah,
kid.
yeah. Some tinned food or something.
yeah.
I'll go to my nan, she'll have something in the cupboard
Yeah,
from
no
like
doubt,
the
yeah,
90s. And I think we can make this a little thing called the naughty 90s.
Naughty 90s, I like that.
Today is the generation game where we look
Yeah.
at different categories and we go, whose generation wins? Should we dive straight in?
Let's go.
What's
Let's go.
category number one? I really hope we've written down the same ones because I don't know what order I've put mine in.
I put mine in the order you text me.
Okay, hopefully they're similar. I've got biggest pop culture icon, or like
Oh,
biggest
yeah,
famous, like who comes to your mind when you think of the famous person of your generation?
So I think in my generation, like when I was thinking of like icons when we were like growing up and stuff, all I keep thinking about is like school stuff. So like when I was in school and when I was at like house party, you know, like birthday parties and
Yeah,
stuff,
yeah,
like
yeah.
you know, whatever music you put on, or and I know football was a big thing when we were kids. I don't know it is now, but it was a big thing to me. I don't care about football anymore. So like we had stuff like I had Robbie Fowler on the back of my t-shirts and stuff,
That's
and
cool.
I think it was like Michael Owen and stuff. So you've got the football icons, and they were like the big ones. I think I can't remember if it maybe a bit later, but I'm pretty sure David Beckham again was playing around that time, and he was a big name.
He might have been a little crossover from yours into mine, I think.
But then I was thinking music related. We had Oasis. Obviously, Oasis was like a big one.
Yeah.
Wonderwall, I think that came out in '96.
That's a no contest, that really, isn't it? Because it's generational.
And then the girls obviously had like the Spice Girls and stuff, and they were like iconic, and even Britney Spears and stuff.
See, my equivalent here is like, I think I was the time frame of Taylor Swift and Justin Bieber and Ed Sheeran.
My God.
If I think of like pop culture, they're like the people that growing up. If we're talking footballers, you've got Steven Gerrard, which
yeah, he was also again roughly,
yeah,
maybe
he's a
crossover.
bit of both. But then the YouTube era, we had. Did you ever hear of Smosh? Is that a bit? So that might be a bit past your time. Smosh was these like two guys. Maybe there were more of them. I can't remember. And they filmed these skits, and I'm pretty sure everyone my age tried to recreate their YouTube channel. Pretty much everyone wanted to be Smosh. I didn't know a single guy who didn't watch them growing up. And they were like, when you were 11, 12, they were like the people on YouTube. Along with like PewDiePie and Dude Perfect and people like that doing all that
I remember
cool
Dude
stuff.
Perfect.
They're quite cool.
Yeah.
I wish I had the effort to film like a Dude Perfect trick shot kind of video.
Well, that's why I started doing trick shots, was from watching. I think I watched their archery video for the first time over lockdown, because this was the first time I ever like started YouTubing. Because it bored over lockdown, I was like, let's just start watching YouTube videos, see what's on there. Let's have a little gander, and I came across Dude Perfect. And that was it. I was like, I'm just gonna watch your videos because archery trick shots, basketball trick shots and stuff. So I bought a bow and arrow over,
of course you
like
did.
an archery set over lockdown, and I was practicing trick shots with that, axe throwing and stuff like that.
See, I think it's so underrated how these guys are like some of the best athletes in the world. Because if you think about it, they're doing every sport, everything to like a level of perfection.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
Well, how many takes does it take?
It must take weeks or months to
So
film
I've seen
a video.
episodes where they're like 70th take and they're trying to throw this fucking thing, and they're going and going, and they're like, fucking hell.
That's the thing, like I don't think I'd have the patience for that. Or it could go the other way where I'd be so determined to get it that I'd end up spending weeks at a time just to try and get this shot.
If you're getting paid to do it though, you're like, I'm just gonna
It's not
keep going.
It's not a bad way to get paid. I think the main standout name for my generation though, in the music scene, and maybe this is a rogue shout, would be Lady Gaga. And I think I think she's great.
I think she is great.
I think she's brilliant.
But that just reminds me of high school for me.
Really?
Yeah.
See, for me, my brain goes to a more recent movie, A Star Is Born.
Star Is Born.
You can't not like that movie.
That's a great movie.
It's like Sign of the Times. If you say you don't like that, you're lying.
Question. Did you cry at the end of Star Is Born?
I didn't.
I did.
And do you want to know
bawled my
why?
eyes out.
And I'm going to say something really graphic. I'm really maybe inappropriate. I didn't like how, spoiler alert by the way, if you haven't seen this, skip 30 seconds in the future and go watch that movie. Pause it, watch it, come back, comment how great it was. When he kills himself at the end, right, I felt like there was this huge emotional build-up, and like it was quite, not graphic, but very like emotional film, and then all of a sudden, it just shows him with a rope, and the next is the flashing lights.
Yeah.
Call me gruesome, and maybe this wasn't the style of the film. I feel like you need a little shot of the stool being kicked over. Or like,
Okay,
and
yeah.
I know it sounds really graphic, but maybe something to like confirm that. Because it
Yeah.
literally goes, he's got a rope, sirens, her singing a song, and I think it, for such a slow moment, it happened so fast, and maybe that's what they were
Yeah.
going for.
Maybe, I think...
For me, I think it would have benefited from just some extra detail. I don't want to see the dude kill himself, but maybe like something that kind of explicitly implies, maybe it's just like a last close-up of like a tear running down his face, and then you
Maybe,
see the
yeah.
sirens, you know what I mean?
But I think as well, it's a hard one because I am a firm believer in less is more sometimes. So like, open to your imagination. You get, like allow the audience to come up with what they think's happened, like to picture it and stuff. So I don't know. I mean, I only watched it the once.
You've got to watch it again.
No, I don't like watching it. If I watch a movie and I've bawled my eyes out at the end, that's enough for me. I don't want to watch that again.
See, maybe you're right, because I can't help but think now that you've said that, if they had shown that, maybe I'd be going, maybe less would have been more.
Yeah.
You know, maybe I can't be pleased, you know what I mean? I didn't need this, it's too much. It's a Friday morning. You know what I mean? I didn't need that. But I think Lady Gaga for me is like probably the defining person.
Okay, I think my one would be the most defining will probably be Oasis. I think, and I didn't listen to much Oasis growing up, but I was very aware of their influence at the time. Like,
Yeah.
I liked a bit more of that kind of stuff. Not heavier music, but just slightly heavier, like Linkin Parks and stuff like that.
Nice,
So it wasn't really my kind of style, but everyone was listening to that at the time.
I might have to give the point to your generation here.
Do you reckon? I mean, I
I
think
think-
Oasis and all that lot are better than...
I'm thinking like, and I know we've got a music category coming up and we'll talk about Oasis again, but I think even just for pop culture icons, what even is pop culture, by the way?
Popular culture, innit?
Is it like pop like the music, or is
No,
it like popular
well,
culture?
I think
I've
they're
never
both
known.
intertwined. I think pop the music
Okay.
is named after, but it's like pop is, I'm sure, is short for popular. So it's popular
Oh,
culture.
that would-
So I think because like, NSYNC as well. NSYNC were massive.
Great shout.
Like there was like NSYNC and Spice Girls were the two, like the girl band, the boy band, and Westlife. all
Were
that
you
kind of
two?
stuff.
Were they your generation, or were they more trickling
U2?
into mine?
I think maybe in between. I didn't really listen much to U2, so I wasn't really that interested.
I used to have an iPod touch screen, like third generation or whatever it was. It didn't even have a camera. Like it had a little black dot on the back where a camera would be. And on my iTunes account, I always vividly remember, because my sister had the same one, there was
Blur Song 2.
a U2 album.
Yeah, sorry.
Yeah. There was a U2 album. I never bought it.
No,
But
that's
apparently-
always on it. That was always on it.
So that was a thing.
That was a thing, because I had one as well, and it was on there.
So whenever I think of U2, I only think of them invading my phone. So I had like 8 gigabytes of storage, and they were taking like a gigabyte of
Yeah.
it, and there was no way to get rid of that thing.
Yeah, I'm sure they must have been in a partnership or
They
something,
must
because
have been.
that was on my iPad.
That's a crazy
iPod.
partnership to get. Imagine nowadays getting a partnership where everyone who buys a MacBook already has your
Has it?
album.
Yeah.
Must have been
That
getting
is
paid
weird,
a
that,
lot
yeah,
for
they
that,
must
right?
have. Well,
That's
I-
proper old tech. That's like the time of life where, and this is a nostalgia hit for me, I used to love doing this. Going into Tesco or Curry's or wherever, and you get those iTunes cards, and it was like, I'd always get the green one, which I think was like £15. It was like
Yeah.
this green one with like a purple silhouette, someone with their wired headphones and dancing, and you'd like scratch off a code and put it into the App Store, and then you had like £15 credit. Nowadays, it's like Apple Pay linked straight to your card.
Yeah.
Back in the day, if you wanted to buy an app or a song, you'd have to go to the shop, scratch off a code and put it in. And I'm saying back in the day, That's modern by comparison to what you probably had
Back
to
in
do.
the day for me,
Yeah, go on.
we had CDs obviously, and we had Walkmans.
I love Sony Walkmans.
They were like,
I want one.
we'd have for us, I remember going to HMV a lot when we were kids. We had a Woolworths. Obviously, I don't know if you remember Woolworths.
Yeah. There was one in Birkenhead. I remember that much.
Yeah,
I
there
used
was.
to
Yeah, well,
always go there.
So when I lived in Liverpool, there was one in Old Swan, and they had some CDs from time to time in there, but mainly HMV was the place. And we used to go in there, and I remember like the first album I ever bought with my own like money after a birthday or whatever was Eminem Encore.
Nice, great album.
It was Eminem Encore and 50 Cent Massacre. No, I don't know which order it was, but I'm pretty sure it was Eminem Encore was the first one, and then it was 50 Cent Massacre. And so that's what we had to do, and then you just listen to the whole album on repeat over and over again. And we never had songs, and like if you think about like my parents, they had like cassettes and they had radios and stuff where they had to like record.
That's
or
mad.
vinyls. And
Mind you,
stuff,
I still listen to records. We've got the Cocktail album right here, fresh from my collection, because I thought it would be a cool little reference here. But I still put these on.
Yeah.
Do you want to know why? The music sounds different.
I
I'm not going to get this now.
You're
This is
never
going to be
gonna
falling
get it
over
back
for
right
the
now.
rest of the pod.
You're fucked there.
Yeah, I'll leave it there. I still listen to it, because even when I listen to like the Beatles especially, there's like different sounds in it. And also I think it's quite like, it's a nice vibe, you know, put it on in the corner. You like don't need to be on your phone.
Pin down.
Isn't it crazy though that you remember the first album you bought?
Yeah,
I remember the first song I ever got downloaded on my iPod. It was Cry Me a River by Michael Bublé.
Was it?
First ever song. I don't know why, like 8, or how old will I have been, like 10-year-old me wanted that song. And then the next one was Love on Top by Beyonce.
Was
I don't
it?
know what was going on with it, but they were the songs. I remember that. And then after that, I bought my first CD, which was Doo-Wops and Hooligans by Bruno Mars. I stand by that. That was a great album.
That was a great
That was a
album,
great
to be
album. It
fair.
still is a great album.
We grew up, me and Sean having a bit of a gothic side to us, so we used to dress up as like fucking emos and goths and stuff growing up, and then we quickly, completely switched.
When do you think you'll grow out of that, by the way?
God knows, I think when they stopped making belters, to be honest. And then we switched to gangsters, so we used to wear do-rags and spinning chains, oversized t-shirts and basketball vests and
I
jerseys
still
and
think
that.
that's such a vibe. Which
It was.
We've actually got a fashion section here coming on.
have, actually, yeah.
I'm going to give the point to your generation.
Do you reckon?
I think we make a tally. That's 1-0 to the old boys.
To the old
old-
school.
yeah,
old
the
school.
old-
Old
I
school
think-
versus new school, innit?
Oh yeah, old school, new school.
Yeah.
That's 1-0 to the old school. I've got no way of keeping score of this.
Have you got a pen? No, I've got-
Doug, you got-
Doug will
Doug, you got this.
you'll tally it up.
1-0 to the old boys. But the new kid in town is ready for a win here.
Yeah.
Because the next one's best cartoon era.
I still think that's me.
What?
100%.
Okay, stop it. Who's your childhood cartoon favourite?
Oh, dear, I don't have one because, so unlike you, right? I'm assuming you grew up with like Sky or
Mate, I was
or like
flicking through these channels.
yeah, or like
Disney.
Disney,
Cartoon
or even,
Network,
But I
all
don't
that.
know when was Netflix? When did that come out?
That was I was still of the time where like I do remember on the weekend going down to Blockbuster, and that
Okay,
was
sound.
because there was a Blockbuster in Heswell.
Yeah,
and
there
the
was, yeah,
coolest
yeah.
thing happened recently. Just a sidebar. It's nowadays it's a massive charity shop, and there was a hurricane last year, and the whole sign blew off, revealing the original Blockbuster sign.
Nice.
And it was the coolest thing, this LED Blockbuster. So they put it in the charity shop and sold the whole sign. I don't know who bought it, but they bought it for £750.
That's a good.
Not a bad price for
bit
this
for a bit of
entire
nostalgia.
bit of nostalgia. My dad really wanted like the ticket. You know how it had the ticket logo? He
yeah.
wanted that. But they said they were only selling the sign as one thing. And he was willing to buy it. He
Wait,
was
I
like,
would have bought it and put it in the bar.
how cool would that have been?
there?
But it revealed, and for like a month, there was this original Blockbuster sign. I remember going there, we'd get like a pick and mix, and we'd
Yeah.
choose a DVD, whatever, and it would.
Oh, okay, so because this is one of my things I thought was Blockbuster era, which is
I think I was very back end of it, because I remember sort of as I was like going into secondary school, there's no way that was a thing anymore. I don't know when it closed down, but it did switch to sort of, I think I went from Blockbuster to watching a lot of YouTube, to by the time I came back to TV, it was Netflix and stuff like that. So I think I was probably the last generation to ever have Blockbuster, I think.
Yeah, okay.
But best cartoon though,
Best cartoon.
Go on, give me one that like you think of, or give me two.
Well, so
Go through the ages.
I'm talking about like things I remember that like is a staple from when I was a kid growing up. Like, and I'm like, and this might not be a generalization. This just might be what we watched when we were kids. So like when I always remember like what would happen is like, especially like primary school and junior school, we'd go. My dad would come upstairs, wake us up. We'd come downstairs. He'd set up a little table for us in the living room with some cereal and like a drink or whatever, while they got ready for their day. And then once we were eating our breakfast, and we put TV on, and then we had stuff like I think in the day we were either watching Scooby Doo, like or
That is
Power
a
Rangers.
classic, yeah.
We had the Power Rangers, Scooby Doo. We had
Was Power Rangers a
SpongeBob.
cartoon for you?
No, but it was like it was like.
I
on
thought
the
you were about
card-
to drop, because for me Power Rangers is like, I used to
The
dress
live
up, but they were like
action,
live
yeah.
action people.
So
Yeah.
I'd say, okay, if we're going cartoons, I'd say it would be like, yeah, so it would be Scooby Doo was the main one.
Nice.
We had X-Men, 97 and 98 and all that stuff, which
Ooh,
was like
okay.
the cartoon X-Men versions and stuff.
I've never even seen that.
Brilliant. Like, that's how like our
Wow.
started. And then we had, obviously we watched SpongeBob, Fairly Odd Parents.
Classic
That was a
show.
great
Yeah,
show.
Classic.
And then, like, they were the main ones I remember. There's probably a few others that I'm not, like, obviously thinking on.
I
but,
lived off SpongeBob as well, by the way.
Yeah.
For me, it
Well,
was like
SpongeBob's
before
been going.
school in the morning, as soon as I got back from school, it was SpongeBob.
Yeah.
I remember one time, my parents redid my room. Obviously, you get to an age where you need like a bit of a bedroom kind of thing, a bit of a
Yeah.
cooler room. And I remember they redid my room, and I had SpongeBob bed sheets, SpongeBob posters on the wall. I had a SpongeBob chair in the corner.
Yeah.
Everything was SpongeBob. I lived for that show. I still watch that show. I've
Yeah,
got
well,
like
yeah.
genuinely. I will sometimes be like, I'm not in the mood to get into something. Let's put on an episode of SpongeBob.
See,
I'm 22 years old.
Because my daughter loves SpongeBob. So when she chucks it on, and she only loves SpongeBob for one reason, because I went one day, hey, do you want to watch this?
And you've got to say yeah. It's like an
Yeah.
offer you can't refuse. You got to kind of manipulate like, hey, put this
To be
on.
fair, actually, what actually happened with that is we were on holiday in Kos in Greece, and on the only kids channel they had on the TV. So whenever me and the missus were getting ready, we just chucked the kids' TV on. It was the only English channel on there, and it was always playing SpongeBob. So that was the first time she watched it, and she fell in love with it from then.
I mean, what more do you need?
Exactly.
SpongeBob. I also had Tom and Jerry. I had that written
Tom and
down.
Jerry. Oh, mate,
that
you're
was
right.
a classic.
I have just realised the big variety of stuff we actually used to watch, because you've just triggered me.
So
Tom
let
and
me
Jerry.
just rewind 30 seconds ago to when you were telling me that I was all fancy with my multiple channels. All right. Meanwhile, your list is longer than mine.
Right, we had... No, because this is just stuff that was on one after another, because we had just had...
So see, I
Cartoon
was a bit
Network or something
different.
like
I would probably have Tom and Jerry on. I remember it so vividly. We had a Skybox, and
Yeah.
it was like 6:03 or 6:04 would be showing Tom and Jerry.
Yeah.
You go up to 6:06. That was SpongeBob Central. Maybe a bit of iCarly Victorious. I had an older sister, so that was sometimes mandatory. And I kind of enjoyed it too. It's a bit of a guilty, you know.
a
I
little
would never
guilty
admit it
pleasure.
on a podcast, but like,
Hey, we could do an episode on guilty pleasures, because I've got so many guilty pleasures.
oh, that's a great idea. I've actually got a couple guilty pleasures embedded in this episode. It could maybe kickstart a whole series.
Yeah, maybe.
Spear, are you too young to remember Drake and Josh?
Oh, Drake and Josh.
No, I was never hugely into it, but it was
mate.
definitely around while I was about. It was it could have been repeat, so I don't really know what
Yeah, we had Drake and Josh and
time
Malcolm
that
in
was
the middle.
happening.
Maybe
Malcolm in the
they-
Middle. I never watched that.
No,
What I
maybe
thought-
that might have been too young for you.
But they're the ones that come to me. Tom and Jerry and SpongeBob are my like childhood ones.
So we had Tom and Jerry.
Classic.
We had Looney Tunes.
Oh yeah, of
I
course.
forgot about that. We used to watch it
Yeah.
all the time. Bugs Bunny and all that, and Daffy Duck.
Can you do an impression of Bugs Bunny? I feel like we do a lot of impressions.
Yeah, I mean, what do we think? Yeah, what's up, Doc?
Oh, maybe. You do the perfect Bugs Bunny. I was going to try it after. There's not a chance now.
No, I don't think that. If you actually compared the two of us, I don't think that.
I think that was
sounded
pretty
anything
bang
like
on.
it. Do you reckon?
I feel like if you put them side by side, maybe you go,
Yeah.
But hearing that, I'm sold. You
reckon?
could tell me the guy who voiced it, I'd take your word for it.
Maybe I was. Who knows?
You know what? I can.
Sorry.
No,
side
no,
tangent.
please go for it.
Speaking of,
I could see it light up in your
Yeah.
eyes when you said that. This was not a
Literally.
comment to interrupt.
So this is like, it's kind of childhood, but this is something that I did as a kid. But this was like, I was maybe 13, 14 about at the time, so I was more teenager than like, obviously kid. and it's talking about voiceovers. So when we were living in Czech Republic, me and Sean both did a voiceover for, you know, like when you're learning a language in a school,
Yeah.
you listen to cassette tapes, CD players and stuff like that, whatever, of like a tape of, you know, what you're learning, and you hear the English version of it, or if we were doing it over here, it'd be like you hear the Spanish people talking on the tape or whatever. So me and Sean were the English people for a Czech company doing it.
Amazing.
So, and we had to like obviously read these lines and stuff. And that was getting distributed around all the schools in Czech Republic to teach English. So they were like listening to our voices. And I was like, because at one point they kept saying, no, you're saying it wrong. And I was like, who's the fucking English one
Who's
here?
the expert here?
So
you know what
they
I mean?
wanted us to speak American English basically, or like just not Scouse. And me and Sean were quite Scouse at this point, and we sounded very Scouse at this point. But it'd be stuff like, they wanted us to say, I went to my garage and got on my bike. And they were like, what's a garage? And I was like, what do you mean, what's a garage? I went, it's a garage. And I'd be like, all right, don't fucking say it like that. And I was like, we fucking say. And then they were like, and why are you saying me? It's my bike. And I was like, so in the end we were like, I went to my garage and got my bike. Is that alright? Yeah. But yeah, that was just talking about voiceovers. You literally just triggered that. I forgot about that completely.
I think growing up, getting older as well, like, and I still watch this to this day. Family Guy.
Family.
I live off that.
That wasn't a thing when I was a kid, though.
I think you were the
was our
Simpsons,
thing.
and I definitely had the Simpsons growing up. I think Family Guy is probably a bit more when you turn a teenager.
Yeah.
But I watched the Simpsons. I remember we had a box set of the Simpsons, and it was the same, probably like 2 seasons, whatever.
Yeah.
And we put it on repeat, and that was the show growing up. I mean, there were loads of others I watched which are way older, like my dad's generation, like Father Ted and Faulty Towers and that kind of stuff. But for me, I think Family Guy was the older one, and if I had to summarise the 2 childhood ones, it would be SpongeBob and Tom and Jerry.
Yeah,
That's what
I think we're quite similar on there, because I think when I was like growing up, what stuff we were watching on TV was SpongeBob and
it was a lot of the same stuff.
yeah, and even like Fairly Odd Parents and stuff. So that was like, because I remember routines of like getting home from school, having my dinner at my nan's, and then they put the TV on, and you knew what was coming on after it. You know what cartoon was coming on after it, because it was like a schedule. So you knew, and then when it got to like 6 o'clock, Simpsons came on, and then and so on and so forth.
Dare I say then, I think my generation takes it for the sole reason of, sounds like we had similar stuff, except I could choose what I was in the mood for.
But did you have Pokemon coming out at that time?
Of course we had Pokemon.
Okay, fair enough. All right then. I'd say.
Joking me. I've literally got a Pokeball in my car right now.
Oh, yeah.
She hates it. She has no idea what it is or why it's there. And I just said, babe, don't worry about it. I went into the shop to buy it. She didn't want to be seen with me. She waited in the car.
Really? Yeah.
She's not happy with it, I know. But
Okay, I reckon. Seeing as though we basically watched the same kind of. Did you have Courage the Cowardly Dog?
I've never even heard of what you just said.
Courage the Cowardly Dog was amazing.
Really?
If you'd have seen it, you would have said my generation. But I feel like because we have watched basically the same stuff.
I think it just
growing
comes
up,
down to the fact
you
that
had the choice.
I had the choice, which it's probably a thing, sometimes you wouldn't be in the mood for this, so you could watch that, whereas maybe you got yourself in the mood for it because you knew it was going to be on.
Yeah.
Do I take the...
I'll give you.
I'll take the mantle, I'll happily take it.
Either, yeah.
It's a little 1-all, it keeps it competitive, Moving on, which is kind of similar as well. Best movie franchise growing up. And I'm just going to throw mine out straight away. I think we had Harry Potter for both of our generations.
We did.
Because that came out for over like 10 years, right?
Yeah.
I think it came out in 2001 or something?
2001, yeah.
I think it was still coming out in 2012.
So you were born in 2004. That doesn't count as your generation.
I was
it came out before you were
think
born. That's
while,
what I'm going to say.
when you're watching that, I think by the time I actually watched that, I don't think I started watching them before they were all already out.
Yeah.
Whereas your generation was kind of watching them as
I was watching
them
them in the cinema every single time.
Which is what happened with my generation with Marvel films.
It did.
So it's very like, I'm always going to be biased towards Harry Potter. I grew up watching that.
Yeah.
Which kind of contradicts everything I just said. But MCU, like, considering that's my generation, and then one that's both our generations and our parents' generations, I wrote down was James Bond.
Well, yeah.
But I don't think we can call that as one of ours or the other.
Who's James Bond to you?
Daniel Craig.
Is it? Pierce Brosnan to me.
See, that's because I know a lot of people say Sean was like the best. What was his last name? Sean Connery?
Sean Connery.
Yeah,
Sean Connery.
he's like the best apparently. I've seen all of them.
Well,
Maybe it's
that's
because
who our Sean's named after.
Is it really?
Yeah, that's
I've seen every single James Bond movie twice, and I've seen every Daniel Craig James Bond movie probably 10 times.
Yeah.
Maybe I'm biased the fact that he went to my school. Maybe I'm
Yeah.
biased the fact that he lived down the road in Hoylake. Maybe I'm biased because he's what I grew up watching. But for me, he'll always be James Bond.
So I think it's a case of your favourite one must be the one that introduced you to James Bond. I think, because the one that introduced me was Pierce Brosnan, and to me, Pierce Brosnan at the time looked like an action man. You know what I mean? He had the hair like an action man. He had the facial structure of an action man.
You are right.
And action men were big when we were kids. So like, to me, he was the coolest. And then he was only really James Bond for a couple of movies while I was a kid, and then it was Daniel Craig. But I was like, he's the original James Bond to me. Whereas my dad would say, I don't know, maybe Sean Connery or something, or Roger Moore, maybe, I don't know, Clinton on.
It's a mad concept because Daniel Craig for me is like, did he die in the last movie?
Yeah, he did, yeah.
But so how's this going to work? Is the next James Bond going to be James Bond, or is it just going to be 007?
It's a 007. I think James Bond's the name.
James Bond's his name, no?
I don't, you know what, I've always tried to figure this out, and I've never really paid much attention to it, but I'm pretty sure James Bond is the agent name.
Do you want to know why I'm
007.
going to disagree? Because in Skyfall, I'm sure his parents are on a gravestone with the surname Bond.
Oh, okay.
Which
Okay,
I'm pretty sure, I don't know if I'm remembering that right, but I remember seeing that movie in the cinema. I would have been 8.
Skyfall.
And it was like a 12. And I went with my mum and dad, and I think it was kind of one of them, like, no questions asked. Maybe it was a 12A, who knows? Yeah. And that was one of the first, well, it was the first James Bond movie I ever saw.
Well, there you go, that's Daniel
And then
Craig,
from then on, it was like, obviously I'd then watched Casino Royale back, and like Quantum of Solace. And then I think, what came out next?
Well, yeah, so
it goes Skyfall, then Spectre.
No, the first one was Casino Royale.
Yeah, Casino, Quantum, Skyfall, Spectre. No Time to Die.
No Time to Die, yeah.
So it's like that whole run ended like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And that started with one of the first movies I saw in the cinema. So, not in the cinema, but like one of the first James Bond movies I ever saw. So, I think for that reason, James Bond is Daniel Craig.
It is Daniel Craig. I do like Daniel Craig as James Bond, but I do think there's no better James Bond for me than Pierce Brosnan, and that is purely, I think, because he was the first one I've seen, and he's the one who made me like James Bond. So.
Do you know my dream in life is to play James Bond?
Is to play James
Genuinely.
Bond?
And now Z's telling me I'm not allowed because she doesn't want me kissing Bond girls.
Well, you know what though, if it brings home the moolah.
You know what? I understand it, but at the same time.
What you could do with that guy, quite a few actors do, don't they? Where they just
I just sign a clause, hey, committed man. You know what I mean? Now get me on the Bond set.
Get me on the Bond, and they'd be like, sorry, but no.
I would.
Well, why don't you text Liam, right?
Yeah.
Give Liam a Hemsworth a text.
Yeah, drop.
And just be like, if you see any auditions for James Bond coming up, I can be like, James Bond.
I think they've already chosen who it is, you know.
James Bond.
I think it's going to be Aaron Taylor-Johnson.
No, I think he's too famous.
You think so? I think it's going to be someone we don't know?
Yeah, I think they choose someone who can't be typecast as anyone else yet.
Yeah, smart.
And I think it's like Taron Egerton was in the...
If he wasn't Kingsman, I think he'd be Bond. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I think he'd be a great Bond. If he wasn't Eggsy.
You need someone who's... Well, actually, yeah, I suppose he is like that. I was going to say someone who's like handsome.
Yeah.
But slightly rugged at the same... Like the perfect combination of the two.
That's what I mean. Daniel Craig had that to a T. No guy in the world...
Had that to a T, I think.
No guy in the world could do old money, but also like... agent as well as Daniel Craig, in my opinion. This has turned into a James Bond podcast.
I was actually, but so what? Go on.
Who are your? I'm going. If I had to throw one in the ring for me, it would be the Infinity Saga, Marvel MCU.
Okay, so I'm a big fan of the MCU.
It is great.
Yeah. However, my favorite films, my favorite trilogy of all time.
Can I guess?
Yes, you may.
You're about to say Batman.
No.
Really? I feel like you got the whole Batman like motorcycle.
I do like
I wasn't
Batman.
Sure because I've never seen Batman.
Have you not?
I've seen the Batman.
The Batman's.
I've seen that, the Robert Pattinson one.
Heath Ledger's Dark Knight one.
Never seen it.
Fucking brilliant, mate. That's amazing.
Okay.
And even Bane's one, Dark Knight Rises. That's a great one.
What's your favourite trilogy then?
Favourite trilogy of all time? Lord of the Rings.
Oh, I should have known that. Who am I?
Lord of the Rings, mate.
Yeah.
I am telling you. Lord of the Rings, so that came out, and I remember seeing it in the cinema for the Two Towers, I think it was. No, I don't think it was it might have been the Return of the King. They all came out pretty much close together, because he like filmed them all together. You know what I mean? He filmed the whole series, so you weren't having to wait for years and years and years for each next one. But because that is still to this day my favourite series of all time, and I got to witness that coming out,
being released.
and there was a shop in Liverpool called the Forbidden Planet, which had like memorabilia, game memorabilia,
That's awesome.
movie memorabilia. And they had all the stuff there. They had action figures of the Lord of the Rings characters. They had everything there, like, but they had Sting and stuff, which is Bilbo's sword, but Frodo's sword in Lord of the Rings.
I think I'll happily say that's good. It's just hard to compare a trilogy with a whole thing.
It's not. Do you know why? Because the Lord of the Rings is the best thing in the world.
Yeah, Doug, what do we think? Are we going MCU? Have you seen MCU?
No.
Oh, he's out of the equation. Forget I ever asked. I don't know what to do
I'll
here.
tell you what. In the comments, why don't we say, right, to the all 3 people watching this,
I think we put a comment MCU. We put a comment Lord
we'll
of the
put
Rings.
a poll on there.
Like one. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Which is better, the MCU?
Maybe we put a poll on our Insta story this afternoon.
Okay.
And then by the time this goes out, we can put the results right here. of what
Okay, yeah, that's
won.
a good shout actually.
Should we do that?
So, Lord of the Rings or the MCU?
Or the obvious choice, the MCU. Right, anyway, moving swiftly onwards.
Yeah, man. But also, sorry,
We still watched so many of these together, oh my god.
the other one is I had the original Jurassic Parks and stuff growing up. That was in my time.
Oh, that's a good shout. I had Jurassic World. There's no
which
there's
is
no
not the
contest.
same. With
Yeah.
Jurassic Park was the first time you ever saw like a realistic dinosaur on TV. You know what I mean? It felt like they were real.
A good way to summarize our generations is yours did it first and then mine did it better, which
That's
obviously you'd
because
expect.
Imitation is the best form of flattery.
100%.
So
I couldn't agree
it's,
more.
It's your
Which is
generation
why I
trying to
nearly
be
wore a
ours.
backwards hat today.
Yeah, nearly.
I know, but I didn't. I left it in the car. I came here on a bike. What am I talking about? But what was the best? And I mean this. I want one answer. One. If you summarize what video game is your childhood, I think we're going down a similar route.
I don't think we are, for the simple fact that gaming wasn't really a big thing when we were kids.
Really? Not even a Game Boy? Not even...
We had Game Boys.
Because
and
I had a
stuff, and we
Nintendo
did.
DS.
So we had the original classic Game Boy Classic.
Nice.
That was our thing, and obviously Pokemon Red.
course, yeah.
Pokemon Red or Blue were the main games on that. But it sounds mad, but it was not something that when, like, so the kids are now, like, so Lewis, obviously I watched him grow up
Course,
through
yeah.
a completely different generation, and I was obviously, so I'm 13 years older than him, so I was much older to witness his growth and watching his generation of people who were Xboxing all day.
That was kind of my generation.
I know, and this is
A
like
bit.
we had a PlayStation, we had an Xbox. Well, obviously my dad was in the games industry, made video games and stuff.
Of course.
So we'd have all the consoles that he'd be able to bring home from work to test games and stuff.
So cool.
But we didn't that often because we were playing outside. We were playing football in the streets and we were riding bikes around. We were genuinely
That's so
outside
nice.
all day, every day. The only time we jumped on that is if it was a miserable day and no one wanted to go out or whatever. Maybe GTA San Andreas or Vice City or something
Yeah,
like that.
that's a
Depending on
great shout.
obviously the time. Because I did like games when I got a bit older, in my teen years more so. So I'm trying to think of pre-teens of what my number one game is. Because if I say number one game of up until maybe I was 18, so like trying to class myself as a child, World of Warcraft would be the one. But
Yeah, that's
I
a
don't
good
class.
shout.
I was too,
I know
I
what
think
you
I was
mean,
too
though.
old for that.
I know what you mean.
So I'm saying pre-teen, say, my childhood, as it were. I would say most iconic game, I may have some bias in this, was probably FIFA 98. Maybe.
I literally couldn't have guessed you were going there with that.
Or Mortal Kombat.
That's crazy. I've never been a FIFA guy at all.
I've never been a FIFA
got
guy,
into it.
but my dad made it, so.
Oh, well, so you've got to. Well, now
So
I
that
feel
was the
like
game we played.
if I choose my generation, that makes me look like a dick now. You know what I
So
mean?
if Spencer says your game's shit, Dad.
Yeah. No, I love FIFA actually, especially '98.
But it was GTA 3. GTA San Andreas and GTA Vice City. They were the GTAs that we played at the time, which were quite popular.
I can sum mine up so quickly. As a kid, it was. I mean, I loved a bit of Tetris.
Let me guess. Oh,
But
Tetris, yeah.
it was Mario.
Oh, Mario, well, yeah.
Super Mario on the DS. That was it. And we had a Wii as well. So Wii Sport Resort was an absolute classic. That, in fact, I can't even believe I didn't mention that, but Mario Kart on the Wii, I play that to this day, and there is not a person on this planet that would beat me at that game. I'm unreal. Growing up a bit. Oh yeah.
I'll challenge you to that game. We'll have an episode of Mario Kart.
Oh, it's going to be so. I think we get a few beers, we get to Mario Kart, we find a way to screen record that.
Yeah.
That's going to be an unreal episode. We'll call it Mario Kart
Double Dash, because that was the original.
Boom.
Well, that wasn't the
There you
original,
go.
but that was the one I.
Mario Kart, but we're drunk. That's what I was trying to go for.
Okay.
Like every time a race happens, we take a shot of Tiki Fire, isn't it? And then we die.
We want to survive the night, you know what I mean?
But coming up to like, I was maybe 11, I was playing Black Ops 2 constantly. That's the COD for me. And then maybe going into teens, like GTA. I don't know, I was like 14 telling my parents it was a racing game, so they let me buy it. But also, Fortnite was a bit of a thing for my generation.
Yeah, you had Fortnite and Minecraft, didn't you?
We had I think everyone like from, did you not have Minecraft?
No.
That's mad. Yeah, we had Minecraft. But then the thing for me with Fortnite was like, I was very early to it, and then like kind of all the kids came onto it, and I think that kind of ruined it for the older people that were playing it. So it was great at the start, very short-lived. A lot of people started playing Warzone. I was probably 14, 15 at this time, and then I logged off my Xbox, and I don't think I've turned it on since. So for me, gaming was kind of a big-ish part, but I know for a lot of people around me, it was a huge part for me. I wasn't too into it. Like you say, me and my friends were always going to the park playing football.
Yeah.
I grew up going to Wales every weekend, so we'd be out on the bikes, whatever. I grew up on the beach as well. Like
You're a surfer dude. aren't you?
exactly,
So
yeah.
this-
That was. I feel like that was a lot more of my life. But I'd always turn on the Xbox every once in a while.
Yeah, I mean, I did a lot of gaming when I was like mid-teens to maybe very early 20s, and then I've kind of like stopped, and like because obviously life happens.
So who takes the gaming trophy?
Well, here's the thing. So like I've got obviously there is a lot. Like I had Super Mario 64.
And you had like sticks and rocks and stuff that you hit down the street.
And flicking pound coins at the wall.
Yeah, your shillings.
But
yeah,
shillings
yeah.
and tuppence. But I don't know. I think the games we played were like trying to just think. It was probably like a GTA game maybe, or we did play a lot of Mario. And we had the GameCube.
Nice.
Which was our Nintendo. We had the 64, Nintendo 64, which we played a lot of Super Mario 64 on there. And then we had Zelda.
Oh,
can't forget about
Legends of Zelda, yeah.
Zelda, brilliant game.
I had that. My dad has a Game Boy, but not even a Game Boy Color. Like this is in black and white, and he gave it to me, and it had 3 games. It had Golf. I never figured it out. Had Tetris, I loved it, and it had Legends of Zelda.
Zelda.
That was the game.
Fucking awesome.
It was unreal.
It was brilliant. So I'd say, I don't know. I can't pick one game that defined my childhood. Was mostly Pokemon on the Game Boy.
Nice.
I think so. I would say my one game would be Pokemon Red and Blue.
Do you know what's crazy about this? My generation's equivalent of that is probably Pokemon Go.
Yeah, it is. Remember that?
Which is mad actually, because I know growing up on the DS, like there was Pokemon. I know I had a game or two of it.
Yeah.
I think I first really got into it with Pokemon Go. Like I watched all the shows and stuff, like the cartoons.
Yeah.
The first proper game I ever played was Pokemon Go. It was 2016. I was like 12, running around playing Pokemon Go. That was the time of life for me.
I did play
I remember
Pokemon Go
being
for
in
a bit.
high school, catching whatever.
Yeah.
That to me is Pokemon, seriously.
Really?
Which it must be crazy for you to hear.
Because ours was like a pixel game, almost, basically, I guess, what is it called? Is it 16-bit? Maybe. I
was
don't know.
so
but
interactive
But there was no
for us.
colour to it.
That's
it was
crazy.
like, you were sitting there. Eventually we had the DS, and I felt like we had this new technology in that, but the original Game Boy and the Game Boy Color, or the Game Boy Advance and stuff, was just like a non-coloured screen. So it was like a
crazy.
green almost overlay, and it had like pixelated kind of characters on it, and that's how we played it. You thought, oh mate, that
See,
was...
for us, it was like a game that actually got our generation to go outside. So we
Yeah,
were
yeah.
walking around. I remember walking up to places, sitting on benches in the park for half an hour.
Yeah.
It's because it was a poker stop where you'd like get
Yeah.
Pokemon. That was a really smart move.
It was a very smart move, I
But
think.
at the same time, like, just as quick as that came, that died. And I know there's still people playing
What
it to
era
this
was
day.
that, 2016?
2016. That was the
Yeah.
best year on record. There was
'Cause I worked
bottle
in
flipping,
Hickories, I think.
Pokemon Go, everything. That was a
Yeah, yeah.
great year.
Bottle flipping, yeah, remember
Yeah,
that?
that
I got
was
sick of that, to be fair.
Oh mate, I feel like bottle flipping for me was my forte. Like, there was nothing I did better than flip a bowl.
Yeah.
I made YouTube videos on it.
Yeah. Bottle flips.
One day on this podcast, our old YouTube videos are going to come out, I think. That'll be a great episode, reacting to our old YouTube videos.
I don't want to see my old YouTube videos.
I've still got all of mine public for the sole
you?
reason that I was like, I'm not going to delete them because I'll regret it.
You
if I
can't.
ever
Yeah,
do.
you can't delete them. I think.
And I still, every once in a while, I get a comment or I get a thing, and I'm thinking that's the maddest thing ever. That people
I've
10 years down the line are now
stumbled
just
upon this video.
stumbling across this year. But yeah, I mean, that will be a great episode one day.
Yeah, that would be actually. To be fair, I don't want to watch mine again.
Lots of horror movies, lots of skits,
Yeah.
lots of all that kind of stuff.
I did a lot of pivot stick animations as well.
Oh my god, did you ever use Scratch?
Nah, maybe, I don't know.
That's like, I don't even think you can class that as a video game, but it was like a thing we did in like IT class. You like, or that stick figure one where you'd make an animation.
Yeah.
It was crazy. It was like I was obsessed. I felt like I was the next pro animator just by using these. It was crazy. You'd like move it an inch at a time,
Yeah.
like that, and then it would.
Yeah,
you'd
because that
make
was
a
like
cartoon.
pivot stick anime, yeah, just little.
I think pivot stick is what I'm thinking of.
Maybe,
Come to
yeah.
think of it, yeah, maybe.
Yeah,
It was
next
like,
frame.
It was like a
bam.
black stick man with red dots on him.
Yeah.
and you'd move. Yeah,
I made loads of them on YouTube.
They were the best.
Yeah.
They were the best.
Go on, what was number 5?
Wait, who?
Oh, wait, who
we
won
need
that
to
one?
decide. Yeah.
I'm going to say my game was Pokemon, so I'm going to say Pokemon Red and Blue.
I think we had Pokemon, but a very different Pokemon.
I would say, it's hard because I think mine, I would say wins purely for nostalgic reasons, just because it reminds me of a great time. However, I think if we were going on the fact that Pokemon Go, if that's your game that you're thinking about, like, what's your game? Because if
I don't know. I
What are you
want to
gonna
say
pick?
Black Ops 2, honestly. I feel like for me,
Okay.
if I think of nostalgia, I think of that.
do you? Oh, I don't know. Then
Maybe even Fortnite as well.
Oh, then
And
if it's
we're comparing
Fortnite, then
them, I kind
I
of
would say
give you the
Pokemon.
mantle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't stand Fortnite.
I
So.
think what's relevant today still, I think considering Pokemon is older,
Yeah.
the fact that it's still here, I know we got Pokemon Go, but if we're judging it off Pokemon, got to give that to your generation.
Okay.
I think you get the point. Seriously.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
I think it would be, I know a lot of this is we have a lot more like options in my generation, but sometimes that's not the best thing, you know? It's not.
Too much. Like you say, less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
I like that.
So number 5.
Maybe. I've
that
lost
the
track.
So you're giving me the
Biggest-
point for 4.
Yeah, so you're 2-1 up with that. You could be 3-1 up. It could be 2-2. It all depends on how that
Wait, I
poll
know it.
goes.
Oh yeah, we're going on to number 5. So aren't we 2-2 then?
It depends how that Instagram poll goes.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, okay,
It's going to be an interesting take. You know what? I think because of our audience here, I think you're going to take the mantle with it. I do.
Yeah, well,
you could
they're
be
all going to
3-1
look
up.
at us and go, because they're the generation.
Yeah, they're a whole
They
other-
grew up
yeah.
in the 80s, the best time.
So I really need to pull it back with this one. So I've kind of played to the crowd a bit. Because the biggest toy craze for me was Scare Electric.
I grew up with Scale Electrics as well, to
Okay,
be fair.
I thought you might have.
Yeah,
and I feel
yeah.
like everyone did. I feel like that's something that still goes on and has been going on since even before yours.
Yeah.
I had the Bugatti Veyron one. I made YouTube videos with it, car races, everything. Oh my God, I loved that. 2 remotes, 1 track that was maybe this far apart, no extra. I would sit for hours. Me and my dad, we'd play that. Oh my, day sorted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That was, for me, the game. Like, Scare Electrics was it. The other ones I'd written down, I wrote a bit of a nostalgia hit. Do you remember Christmas approaching? It would be, you'd have this beautiful like school play going on, everything, and your mum would bring you the Argos catalogue, and it'd be like this big, like, go on, sir, and you go through and you'd circle what
You'd
you want, and you
circle
write
what
your
you want.
Christmas list like that. That for me, I just had to bring it up when we're talking about toys. That, I don't care what was in there, that for me
that
was.
Did you have Toys R Us?
Yeah, we had Toys R Us.
Toys R Us.
Going into Toys R Us was like,
That was like
that's how I
Christmas
feel
Day.
like. That's how I feel when I walk into Costco now. If I walk into Costco now, I'm like, oh my God, look at all this. That was like the toys.
So much room for activities.
Yeah, I want to buy everything. That was Toys R Us.
Yeah, Toys R Us, man, that was belter. That was a
Unreal.
proper childhood.
It really was.
Yeah, fuck me, yeah.
Yeah, I miss it. They closed down, right? They're gone.
Yeah, they're
right?
gone, yeah.
That's sad. There was one in Cheshire Road, a huge one. I remember when it closed down.
So,
I was distraught.
so did you have like Hot Wheels now? Were you big into the Hot Wheels tracks
Hot Wheels.
and stuff? And,
I had a Hot Wheels track. I feel like this kind of stuff, because growing up, a lot of it you get from your parents.
So it's
I had a wooden train set,
Yeah.
everything like that, and then getting older, I'm trying to think of what else I had. I had a Bop It. Did you guys have Bop It? Yeah.
Twist it. Pull it.
My sister was unreal at that. I was so jealous. She was so good
Really?
at it. Yeah. Like I could never beat her record.
Have you still got one?
I've still got 2.
You should have brought one in. We could have had a little game.
I should have brought up Bop It. Right, on part 2 of this episode,
Yeah,
we're
do
going
it on
to
part
refresh, and I'm going to go, remember we were talking about Bop It? Well, look what I brought, and I'm going to bring out a Bop It.
That's a good idea, though.
And whoever scores highest gets
Yeah.
a point.
Gets a point,
Yeah.
just in general.
Just a general, not even like a point for the game, just a life point,
Yeah.
a podcast point.
I like this.
Yeah,
We'll
a slightly
we'll make a
hungover
tally of
point.
these
Yeah.
over the time.
Yeah.
So what would you say then is your key figure? Is like your key toy that really brings home nostalgia for you?
Well, the last one I had as well was BB guns or Nerf guns.
Yeah, BB gun,
but
yeah.
That's not. That was like a cool, fun thing.
Yeah.
For me, the nostalgia hit comes with Scare Electric.
Okay.
Yeah.
So-
There's so many options. Like,
Yeah.
I had to fight the risk of all the board games like Monopoly and stuff.
Yeah.
I didn't want to include all those. They're all classics. Even the wooden trains, I'm like, there's nothing unique. If I had to think of something that feels like my generation, for me, it would be that like kind of modern electric Scare Electric.
Yeah.
Like the racing handles, everything, so you could control the speed, like all that.
See, ours were like our Scale Electrics were very basic. Like they were like you had the track and stuff that you could build, but the cars were just like I don't know, like a red and a yellow car or something
Yeah.
like that. You know, like looking very generic. No like Bugattis or anything like that. You probably could get stuff of like without paying, but the kind that we had were just like basic cars and stuff like that. This is what I remember anyway. For all I know, my mum and dad like, mate, I got you the fucking best of the
That was
best.
a Ferrari, yeah.
What the fuck?
Lamborghini, yeah. Little Countach and a
waste of money.
Testarossa, you joking?
But I would say that the nostalgia toy for me was WWE and WWF wrestlers.
Oh,
We grew up
good show.
constantly, like whenever it was a birthday or Christmas, we wanted to see which wrestler my mum and dad had got us, whether it was like, I don't know, Kane or The Undertaker or just anything like, and they always used to get us like a little wrestling ring, and me and Sean used to play like wrestling with the toys, with the action figures, and then we'd just do it for real life. And then put in the ring and stuff, but that's something that always reminds me.
You know what's so cool about these toys that we're mentioning right now? Mine, you held a trigger and it would go around the track. Yours, you catapult a guy into a ring.
Yeah.
That was it. That was the limit of it. Everything else you had to imagine.
Yeah, it was pure
Nowadays,
creativity. Yeah.
I feel like if the toy isn't stimulating enough for a second, and that's if you're even playing with a toy.
Yeah.
Like that's if you're not on YouTube or whatever. If for a second your kids don't go, oh well, let me imagine this to make it more fun. They go, well then where's the next toy? Or was it? Is that our fault as a generation? You're a dad. Is that your fault?
I don't know, because I think it's difficult because like my daughter's got so many toys. Doesn't play many of them at all.
It's mad. It's a school
occasion
thing,
she
isn't it?
will do it, but I think it's just because they're not talking about it in school, and like whereas we were talking about like Pokemon cards and stuff. Like
Did you trade Pokemon
we trade
cards?
Pokemon
I traded
cards and
Pokemon
stuff.
cards, yeah.
You'd always bring them in. You'd
Match attacks as well.
Match
I'm sorry.
attacks.
This episode is designed to be a tangent. I had a match attack book. Unreal.
Yeah, so like all that stuff.
That would happen in school.
In
You're right.
school,
You
so-
take your book in. You trade what you have.
Whereas now they talk about stuff like what they've seen on YouTube or something like that. Like I try and limit my daughter going on her iPad at like, any point. Like the only time we really allow it is like, well, because she is very. I must say this. She's a very creative little girl. She loves drawing. She loves colouring. She loves making patterns and puzzles and pen and paper. She loves it, making arts and crafts stuff anyway. So like, but we have an iPad that we got for when we went to Centre Parks one time. So it's like a 3-hour drive or 2-hour drive, whatever. And we were like, she was old enough where she wasn't going to sleep in the car and stuff. And it was like, let's just get her something she can watch something, maybe fall asleep to in the back of the car. We got it. And we did just kind of keep it at that. But now it's got to a point where it's like, she comes home from school, we do her homework and stuff. And then she'll draw pictures and she'll just make some arts and stuff. And then eventually she'll be like, can I go on my iPad for a bit? And I go, usually I'm like, depending on the time, I'm like, no. I want you to do something else, go do something else. And she's quite happily go and do something else.
Which is good.
And she's very aware when I always say to him, like, when she's like, I was like, I don't like you going on YouTube and your tablet all the time.
It's how it affects them. Like they're gonna carry on doing that through life.
This
I'm
is it.
terrible at it. Like
Yeah,
I will need to go to bed and I'll go, well, I'll watch TikTok or YouTube
yeah.
or Facebook or whatever.
So I don't want that to happen. I'm trying to.
That's a new thing for us. If that's happening as a kid, like they don't know anything
It's
else.
just like doom scrolling for kids. Like,
Oh
it's
my
just,
God.
And it's removing all the creativity, I think, of the
you know, so
of the,
often.
and the innocence as well of them as well. Like you know, like there's some stuff like that from time to time. Like she was talking to me about bloody death, and I was like, what? And she was like, you know, when you die,
to be talking about that.
and you turn into a ghost and you can become a zombie and all that. I was like, all this weird shit, and I was like, you shouldn't. You're 5. You shouldn't know what any of that stuff is.
Yeah.
So that because
You should be worried about Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
You know, I know I've bawled my eyes out because I've traded a card and regretted it. You
exactly,
know what I mean?
yeah. And I'm
not
like,
worrying about
where's the
death.
innocence, you know? And
That's
then,
crazy.
because that was the first time I was like, shit, I need to keep an eye on what you're fucking watching. So I remember deleting YouTube off the tablet, and I was like,
That's
you're not going on
wild.
that anymore. I was like, I don't want because I
Well,
can't
she's
keep
got
an
that
eye
from
on you.
somewhere on there. Yeah.
So it turns out there's like kids shows like A. Bradley is one of the things she likes, and I don't mind her watching some of them because some of them are arts and crafts shows. That's the kind of stuff she likes to watch. But then whenever I see like an adult acting like a child on a tablet, I'm like, you're not watching that because that's
dodgy
not.
that,
Yeah,
isn't
it's
it?
weird.
Bit
I'm like,
dodgy,
I
mate.
don't like it. I don't want you seeing that.
But I know for a fact as well, kids will watch YouTube videos of kids opening toys. Go play with
play
toys.
with your toys, you've
you know
got
what I
them,
mean?
you know what I mean?
What's that about? I've never
Yeah.
understood that. There's apparently a channel and it makes one of the most revenues on YouTube. And it's like Kinder toys or something like that being open and played with.
That, yeah.
So go and buy a
go and
Kinder
buy
egg.
it.
Like they're a bit pricey these days, but even still,
Fucking, yeah.
go buy one. Go
Oh,
open
Lewis
it.
used to do that though. He'd have a game like, let's say, I don't know, FIFA 15. I don't know, I can't remember the kind of games, but he'd have that, and then he'd watch someone else playing it on YouTube instead
Of just playing
of just
it.
playing it. I'm like, you've got the game. And he's like, yeah, but it's more fun watching someone play it. And I'm like,
I think I'm in the generational overlap of that, where when that became big, I kind of stopped watching. But I know there was a brief moment where like these games were such a big like thing I wanted to watch. If I was watching YouTube, like I know I watched a few like Fortnite YouTubers or Call of Duty YouTube. I know I did do that, but I think 9 times out of 10 I choose to play the game than watch the game. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas nowadays I think it's 9 times out of 10 they're watching the game and every once in a while playing it. And the fact, I don't know, it just all seems a bit weird.
it is. I don't like this new generation stuff. I mean, I feel like if we had this podcast in 10 years with like, say, my daughter would be 15, I'd be like, what's your childhood? You know,
Yeah, we'll get her on the pod.
Big difference.
We'll put it in the calendar for 10 years
10
time.
years
We'll get her
time.
on the pod.
Yeah.
We'll have a chat.
When we finally hit 100 subscribers.
Yeah. But I know for a fact I've been in the most amazing places in the world, and there's always a kid on an iPad.
Oh, I hate
Oh,
it.
do you know what makes me depressed? If I go to a Mackey's, there's always a grandparent with a grandchild on an iPad.
Mate.
Talk to your grandparent. You know what I mean? Or even just a parent, just chat.
Yeah.
Like-
as a man who's lost both his grandparents, who I was extremely close to, it breaks my heart when I see stuff like that. Because I'm like, I would love another second with her. You know what I mean?
To think about how much time
And I'm like, you
these
just
kids
sit
are
there and you just
wasting
watch it,
on
and
the
he's like,
iPad.
just sitting there, talk to him, and
Yeah.
get this quality time together.
I
Like,
don't think I'll ever let my kid have an iPad, and I know that's so easier said than
It is
done.
easier said than
but I
done.
think if they do get it, it will be a very restricted kind of thing.
Yeah,
like,
so that's, I mean, what
but
we
like
do.
the way it sounds like you're doing it sounds perfect. Like you're on top
Yeah.
of it. I just see these parents that are walking around and they have no clue what they're watching. All they care about is that their kids being like low maintenance.
Yeah.
That's
See,
that's wrong, right?
Like, don't get me wrong, there are days when I'm like, I'm tired, and she's like, can I go on it? I'm like, just go on it. She'll be on it for a little while, and then I'm like, and I'm very conscious that she's on it for a little bit too long, but I'm like, I'm knackered, I've had a long week in work, or I'm hungover, I don't know, whatever. Fucking, there's a reason.
Slightly hungover, yeah.
But
Still showing up.
but it is, you can go on it while I'm cooking your dinner.
Yeah, nice.
You know, and so it's only like for half an hour.
Well,
and
for
then
me, this is
she'll
coming
go
from
on
a
it.
guy who obviously isn't a parent. So it's so easy to say, oh, my kid will never have an
I
iPad.
said it before, I said it never
I can
happened.
imagine, don't get me wrong, I know I had a tablet growing up and I had games on it. I will totally give them that.
Yeah.
I just think back when we were growing up, there was no need to limit what was going on because there weren't these messed up YouTube videos. The worst thing I could watch growing up on YouTube was someone swearing. That was like my mother's idea of hell. I swear to God, one time I played an Eminem song in front of her and I watched her have a heart attack. That was the worst thing that could happen. Exactly. God. There was no asking about death. There was none of that crazy shit going on.
Well, it's mad because I said that before. Like, I had the kid,
that's what I mean. Like,
it's not getting it. But at the same time, like, to counteract that, actually, my missus downloaded a load of learning games on there.
That's cool.
So, like, it was like teaching how to count or teaching how to colour in, teaching how to write, and pattern recognition and stuff. So she downloaded all these kind of games. So because she's not aware of any other kind of game, so that's what she assumes games are, if that makes sense.
Yeah, but that's such, like, you can use it for such good as well.
So I was like, if she's going to be on it, that's what I want her to be doing. That's cool. Learning as she's doing it.
You figured this out by the sounds of it.
No, I'm still learning.
Get on some of those games, you'll figure it out.
She still comes up to me from time to time and just goes, bang! And I'm like, what was that for? Oh, that's what she did on it, to her dad on the YouTube. And I'm like, oh, great.
Brilliant, all right.
Love that.
Great, thanks for that. Who wins that, though? Biggest toys?
So what was your, I was WWE, yours was...
Mine was Bop It, I guess.
Bop It.
Or Scare Electrics.
Scare Electrics.
Oh, it's tough. Because I feel like either one of us could sit with any of those toys right now and have a great time.
I'm going to say... I was going to say Scare Electrics wins for the simple fact that I had one, and I'm pretty sure my dad had one when he was a kid. And so that's lasted the test of time.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think WWE figures.
I feel like that's not around as much these days.
So,
it's a nice nostalgia hit, but I feel like kids 20 years in the future will still have a race car track.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I don't know if I can call it my generation, but it's definitely the one that stands out for me.
I'll give that to that point.
Which I think ties us up. Going into the last one of the ep, which is songs that defined our generation. I know we touched on artists and stuff before, but I've got a cool take on this, which I wanted to share with you. Because for me, it's a no contest. 90s music is better than 2000s music.
Yeah.
There's no point in comparing it. You've got the whole Eminem and like that whole rap scene, East West Coast, everything. Then you come over here, you got Oasis. Like, I can't compare Taylor Swift with that. That's just never gonna work.
Which is, even though she's weirdly like apparently one of the #1 artists.
I think
I've got a friend who's a Swiftie or whatever they call themselves.
Yeah.
Mate, I'm like, and I love him to bits.
Swiftie.
He's
what would ours be? A Hungy.
Like, dude,
you know what I mean? What's our fan base called?
A
Hungy.
The Hungies.
A Hungy. No, it doesn't have the same ring to it. She struck lucky with that last name.
And the Beliebers.
That was a classic.
Oh, that was straight in the face.
A Belieber. I mean, he's done well there. These last names are carrying it. What would mine be? A Flamingo.
The Flamingos.
Yeah.
The Flamingos.
A Wild Man for you.
The Wild Things.
That
works actually.
Yeah, yours is pretty good.
I win that one.
You've got Wild Things and I've got fucking Flamingo. How unfair is that? So I went, instead of looking at the artists, let's look at the most popular song from the year we were both born.
Okay.
That's what I've done. And I was going to do it off Grammy wins, but then I went off like record sales instead.
Do you know what was #1 on the day you were born?
Day?
Yeah.
No, I've got the year.
I know what was #1 on the day I was born.
What was it?
It was I think it was Mr. Vane.
Wait, Mr. Vane or Yosef Vane?
Carly,
what's it called?
Call me Mr. Wrong.
Oh wait, no, that's not the song I'm thinking of at all. I'm trying to search now.
It might be Yosef Vane actually thinking about it. Let me
You probably think this song is about you. You're so vain. That's what's coming to my head right now. Is it not that?
One song, 5th of September.
5th. I'm gonna go 14th of Feb, because I'm a little Valentine's baby.
Mr. Vane by Culture Beat, yeah.
Oh, hang on. I've never even heard of that. Because mine's With a Little Help from My Friends.
It's calling Mr. Vane, calling Mr. Wrong, calling Mr. Vane.
I don't know this song.
I don't know what I want, and I want it now.
I mean, if it sounds anything as good as that, then it's beating mine. I've got With a Little Help from My Friends / Measure of a Man, but not by the Beatles, by Sam and Mark. Who the hell are Sam and Mark? Who are those guys?
How do you not know Sam and Mark? You know.
Oh, you know, it literally sounds like two blokes from down the pub. But for that reason, because that's a bit rogue, I've gone for, of our years, do you want to know yours? Top song of 1993 was I'd Do Anything for Love by Meatloaf.
Oh my god, I fucking love that song
It's
as well.
like 12 minutes long, right?
It's the
I've
fucking
never
belter.
been into Meatloaf, I won't
Really?
lie. I can't get
I would
into it.
do
Like when I listen to it, it's like,
anything for love.
and don't get me wrong, good song, and if it I'll go, yeah. But just, I've never thought, oh, I'm in the mood
What
to
do you
listen
reckon
to
it is that he
Meatloaf.
won't do though for love? Because obviously the lyrics are, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. And he lists all the things he would do, but he goes,
Yeah,
but I won't do that. And he'll never tell you what it is.
What's the one thing you wouldn't do for love? Would you kill for love?
Yeah.
I think I'd kill for love.
I'd kill for a lot of reasons, to be honest.
Would you suck off a man for love?
No, fuck that.
So that's what he's talking about.
I always thought it was
So Meatloaf,
getting pegged or something like that.
why have we both gone gay?
Because that's the one thing
To
you
be
wouldn't
fair,
do, you know what I mean?
this is a podcast where we kiss all the time and disco occasionally, so
And
it
do a lot of
makes
things
sense.
for love.
It does make sense.
But I'm actually really happy that that's my number one though, because I fucking love that song.
I've got Yeah by Usher for 2004.
Oh, but that's my teen years,
It's a
I remember
great song.
that. And I said,
And
yeah,
it's so
yeah.
completely different vibe because yours is like this timeless tune.
Yeah.
Mine's this. It's a bop that summarizes the
Yeah.
noughties. If that came on in a club today, I don't know what I'd be doing in a club. I feel
Mate.
so out of place in a club. But that is probably the song that would get me dancing.
That's what I mean. So if I was in a club, like, 'cause I want to host a disco night here at some point in the near future.
Let's get Yeah by
But it'd be
Usher.
stuff like that on.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Stuff that make you want to dance.
Yeah, you get some of that Harry Styles album on,
I would
discoing
say-
all the time.
And I'll do anything for love. In my opinion, a lot of people don't like Meatloaf, so this is purely my opinion. But I would say, as a song, is 1,000 times better than an Usher's. Yeah, you know what I mean.
I think the difference is one's like a song like
Yeah.
This Is a Time that's like almost like an art piece, and one's like let's get people dancing in a club, and it's kind of
Yeah.
like they're meant to be two different things.
Yeah.
So if you want to go for like which one's gonna stand the test of time, then it's Meatloaf.
But what's
But if you want to go for the feeling and nostalgia, it's got to be Yeah by Usher.
But what's your, like, what song do you remember from your childhood? Like, what do you think is your? Because I grew up, like, what I remember in my childhood was stuff like Red Hot Chili Peppers, Under the Bridge.
Yeah,
I had
see,
Linkin
that is
Park,
unreal. But it's
in the
whatever
end.
your dad listened to, you know
This
what I
is
mean?
exactly
That's
it.
exactly.
My dad used to listen to, social services won't give a shit anymore because I'm 32. But my dad used to drive us to primary school, yeah. And my mum would be like, there were certain songs my mum just hated my dad playing around us and stuff. But I remember, like, we'd be driving to school or something like that, and if my dad was taking us and stuff, and he'd be like, as soon as he got away from the house, he'd turn the CD on or something like that, and
Yeah.
it was Limp Bizkit, My Day.
Oh my God.
Don't give a fuck, yeah. We got my dad's there going, never give a fuck about me, in my generation. And stuff like that.
Do you know what?
We were swearing along, my dad allowed us to do it, so it felt cool. But
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
stuff like that I remember. Limp Bizkit, Linkin Park, Red Hot Chili Peppers, Faith No More.
See, I went away every weekend to North Wales. Like,
Yeah.
we live on a beach, obviously, around here, and then we go away to the beach. That's what I
Yeah.
mean when I said before, grew up on the beach. And whenever we go to this place, it was like by Barmouth. There was a town called Lingworld, tiny town. It was in between Barmouth and Aberdyfi, if you know anything about like North Wales area.
Don't fuck all about
Some
any
people, I
geography.
feel like people will know Barmouth. It's a bit of a North Wales kind of landmark. And we'd go there, and the music we would listen to would be like Adele 19, that album specifically.
Oh, yeah, okay.
But mainly it would be Jack Johnson, Paolo Nutini, James Morrison, Jason Mraz. Like this kind of music for me,
Yeah.
James Blunt, like a lot of this kind of stuff. So it's not as iconic, but it's what I listen to.
Yeah.
So for me, it's that. And it's all kind of chill music, tame. And then one day we're driving in the car. It's me, my sister, and my dad. Out of nowhere, on the radio, he cranks it all the way up, and he kills it. Word for word, rapper's delight.
Oh, mate.
Comes on, and he doesn't skip a beat. Like, he knows every lyric. And I
yeah.
remember being like, what the hell is this song?
My dad.
And why does my dad know how to spit every last bar?
if you
I was
will-
blown away.
If you grew up in our eras, you'd know the words, you know what I mean?
Well, that's what I mean. So I feel like as much as I've got Eminem and stuff, for me, it's like all this kind of...
Yeah.
I've got such... There's not really any music I won't listen to. Keep that heavy metal shit away from me. Like, I don't like scream music. Like, when people are screaming into the microphone, I'm like, come on.
You know what, though?
There's a line. Beware of
So, like,
becomes
Linkin
just
Park?
noise.
Do you like Linkin Park?
Yeah, I like Linkin Park. I can do that. I like Linkin Park.
Would you like Marilyn Manson?
Not really.
Okay, because I'm trying to slowly get to the...
Yeah,
So, like,
that's
I
probably
love
where I call
Marilyn
like,
Manson, love Linkin
That's
Park.
where I draw the line.
I do like Rammstein and stuff as well, like, but the heavier stuff, I mean, I'm not into full-on heavy metal.
No,
Not interested.
I call it scream music. That's where I'm like,
It
I
is.
feel and this is probably an insult, and it's probably just showing that I actually don't know too much about the music because I don't listen, but at a glance, as someone who's not huge into it, I just listen to that and feel like anyone could do it.
Oh yeah, I know,
Which I know it's obviously not that case, and if you get into it, as someone who plays a few instruments, like you get to understand that. I say a few. I'm counting the ukulele and the guitar, playing a bit of piano here and there.
And the good old slapping it.
The old knee slappers, the triangle.
Yeah.
But as someone who kind of like, I feel like music's a big part of my life. I'm very not really into that.
Well, you know what? I mean, there are quite a few that I like of heavy metal songs. Like I grew up listening to like Slipknot and stuff as well.
See, even Slipknot, like I can tolerate.
But there are the next level after that, which maybe like don't know, like Pantera, and I'm trying to think who's that new one. Well, not new one, but the one that everyone's raving about at the moment. Can you? No, I can't even fucking think about it.
I like
Bring Me the Horizon. Bring Me the Horizon. And stuff.
Bring Me the Horizon.
And I'm like, yeah, I get it.
I think I've seen them live.
Yeah, they're good.
Yeah.
But they are a bit like, I mean, obviously there are way heavier things as well. But I do think that, like, once you realise that, like that voice, because I had a mate who was in a heavy metal band, and that is a really difficult thing to do and try and do it the way it's done.
It's a difficult thing to maintain as well.
Yeah, because I try it and I cough. I'll go.
if I ever sing in a raspy voice, like if I'm singing, I don't know, some song from A Star Is Born, or if I'm singing Paolo Nutini, the next day.
Give us an example.
Oh, well, I'd need to get into karaoke. What's that song do you know that, the opening song of, it starts like a boom, boom, boom. Black eyes.
Do
you know, it's like, black eyes open wide. But he does
black eyes open wide.
Whoa, I didn't say black eyes open wide.
What the hell?
Why is everything turning gay today?
Why
I don't know.
Whatever you're into, dude.
Or that's the other song, Alibi. Oh my God, what a song. Because obviously, there's the classic song in there, Shallow.
Oh yeah.
But that's the good. Yeah. But Alibi is like a, are you lying? Sings it like that. Yeah. I don't lie.
I like, I like his voice in that song. Like,
without an alibi. He's like going all raspy and shit. It's like the perfect voice.
Yeah.
So if I try and get into that, first of all, you got to warm up your throat for like an hour. And then I can't speak a day after it. Like it's so much strength. These guys are doing this day in and day out. That's what makes it impressive for me.
I know. I mean, I always think that with Joe Bennett. Like he sings and then he's like, oh, my voice is fucked today. And I'm like, hey, it sounds better than now. Like, and now you got that
it's
even
got that
more of it.
Rasp, everyone wants to speak a bit like this.
But yeah, I mean, I grew up with Kerrang, and I grew up when MTV was still showing just only music videos.
Did you have like Wu-Tang Clan and stuff growing up as well?
Yeah, I wasn't really into it much, but I did. We literally had Kerrang, which just was a siphon of Evanescence, Linkin Park, Limp Bizkit. You did actually have some other songs on there as well, like that, probably less heavy, but it was just that kind of, and also like the whole Teenage Dirtbag stuff.
Yeah, oh my God, see that's back into
childhood.
Like my kind of, I'll listen to that often. I think if there's one song that I've realised me and you click on recently, it's Old Man by Neil Young.
Oh man, look at my life.
It's such a beautiful song.
It's a brilliant song.
And that for me is like the example of a timeless song. It's not the most famous song in the world, but I feel like everyone knows it.
Do you know why? Because it's simple and less is more.
Less is more.
Less is more.
Whatever helps you sleep at night, Liam, mate. So, I agree. I think it's one of those understated songs that will literally stand the test of time for as long as you let it.
So who are we saying then? Who are we saying wins the sixth final point?
I'm going to give that to you.
Okay.
Do you want to know why? Because I wouldn't feel confident enough to give it to me. I'd feel like it was a dirty victory.
I think, and obviously I have a bias here, but I think my generation had better music than your generation. However, I think my generation is nothing compared to the generations before us, in my opinion.
I think music has kind of gotten worse.
It has gotten worse. It's losing its
originality,
I think, and create like the raw talent. Everything's like digitalized in a way with beats and which they're good.
It does make sense, but
there's no Hotel Californias in there. There's no fucking Freebirds where it's just pure raw talent.
I think a lot of what is deemed good music as well is actually just because it's similar to old music. There's this guy that I love listening to called Steven Sanchez, and you probably have heard one or two of his songs.
Maybe.
And he just gives off Elvis vibes, which is such a cool vibe to give. But at the end of the day, that's why he's probably quite popular.
I haven't said that though.
People love Elvis.
Yeah, because it's like that with Greta Van Fleet. I love Greta Van Fleet. and everyone compares them to Led Zepp, and I'm like, is that a bad thing? Because you're getting now more of that same song in a new raw format.
It's like slightly different, slightly modified.
Yeah.
But is that such a bad
But if
thing?
you
It's
like
never
that,
going to be the original,
yeah.
but it's new, it's fresh.
And if you like
There's
the
something
original,
about that.
then why wouldn't you like this?
It does make
You know what I
sense.
mean? It's like someone saying to us, I really like the strawberry daiquiri cocktail. Could you give me something similar? Well, you'll most likely like the strawberry fields.
We come out with this, the Beatles banger, the Strawberry Fields, and
Yeah.
all of a sudden we're serving it up more than we do daiquiris.
Exactly, and then it's like, so that's based on, and I will say it's actually based between a caipirinha and a strawberry daiquiri. Essentially,
Yeah.
that's how I've kind of based it almost. So that's like that's not the original. That's a modified version essentially of these others, but yet you do prefer the modified version. So there's nothing wrong with the new version. The classic's still the classic, still great. Doesn't mean that that's now shit because you're comparing the two. They could equally be as nice, could be better. So I don't think that.
Say, Liam, if I was a guy who wanted to try this and put it to the test, because I've had a strawberry daiquiri, I mean, who hasn't? Where could I try this Strawberry Fields?
So one and only place you could try the strawberry fields is the Wild Inn West Kirby. Now, if you like live music and cocktails and you want to take a walk on the wild side, Wild Inn West Kirby is the place to be.
I think I've heard of this. Is that the one where you come for the drinks and you stay for the vibes?
That is the one.
Well, I want to drink already. So let's wrap up this podcast. That's some Strawberry Fields. We'll head into part 2. There's a lot more left unsaid, but I think for the most part, you've taken that.
Thank you.
It could be a 4 or 5-1 win here, or 5-2. I don't know where we're at these days with this.
You know what? And the one I'm looking forward to most, the question is the best.
Slightly hungover.